Homelessness in the United States has a vast scale and a dramatic character. It is visible both in the centers of metropolis and in peripheral neighborhoods. Despite the image of a country of success and freedom, hundreds of thousands of people have no roof over their heads and sleep in tents, in cars, or on sidewalks. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, reported that in the year 2024, about 650,000 people were without shelter. However, non-governmental organizations estimate that the number of homeless people may be significantly higher and exceed 1 million because many remain outside official records. One of the key factors of homelessness is the lack of affordable housing, which in metropolises leads to the systemic exclusion of the poorest workers. In cities such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, and New York, rental prices often exceed the financial means of low-income residents. The phenomenon of people who are employed yet homeless reveals a paradox of the labor market, where employment does not always guarantee housing security. Mental health disorders and addictions are significant causes of homelessness because they limit the ability to maintain a stable place of residence. About 35 to 40% of the homeless experience mental disorders, which calls for an expanded network of psychiatric care. Nearly half of homeless people struggle with alcohol or drug abuse, which deepens social marginalization and hinders reintegration. Family breakdown and domestic violence force thousands of women with children into shelters, where there are often insufficient places and resources. About 30% of homeless women are victims of domestic violence who were not provided with a safe housing alternative. Job loss and medical debt are further causes because a single serious medical bill can devastate a family's finances. The health insurance system in the USA means that treatment costs can lead to bankruptcy and loss of housing even for people who were previously employed. Many homeless people form so-called tent cities, sprawling encampments of tents, cardboard, and improvised structures visible in cities. Skid Row in Los Angeles is one of the best-known concentrations, where hundreds of tents and makeshift shelters create a distinct urban landscape. In the Skid Row areas, the number of homeless people is estimated at 8 to 10,000, illustrating the depth of the local problem. San Francisco, despite vast overall wealth, faces one of the highest proportions of homelessness per capita. Northwestern cities such as Seattle and Portland struggle with increasing homelessness and a harsh climate that exacerbates health problems. City authorities regularly clear encampments, but soon after interventions, new structures appear because there is a lack of permanent housing. Daily life on the street is a struggle for food, hygiene, and safety, and basic needs become the central existential challenge. Food mainly comes from free kitchens, churches, and charitable organizations that try to fill systemic gaps. Hygiene often depends on access to public restrooms and gas stations, making the preservation of dignity a luxury for many. Safety remains a serious issue. Thefts, beatings, and assaults threaten daily survival, and women are particularly vulnerable. Winter in colder states is a real life-threatening hazard, as lack of heating and shelter leads to hypothermia and death on the streets. In areas with harsher climates, such as Chicago or Detroit, homeless survival rates drop markedly in winter without adequate support. Addictions can be both a cause and a consequence of homelessness because marginalization encourages turning to substances to escape trauma. Highly toxic synthetic substances, including fentanyl, appear in the urban environment, increasing the risk of accidental deaths. Fentanyl in minimal doses can be lethal, which makes the street environment a field of a growing public health crisis. In the year 2023, the number of deaths due to opioid overdoses exceeded 100,000, which deepened the crisis. Across the country, relief organizations such as the Salvation Army, the Los Angeles Mission, and the Coalition for the Homeless operate, offering immediate and long-term support. These institutions help with job searches, provision of shelter, and addiction treatment, although their capacities are limited relative to demand. Many people in need do not use assistance out of fear of losing privacy, legal interventions, or because of a lack of trust in the system. Aid programs often encounter administrative and financial barriers, which delay the effective delivery of services to people in crisis. Funding for humanitarian aid and social services does not keep pace with need, which requires resource redistribution and new priorities. Children and youth constitute about 12% of the homeless population, which threatens the education and development of succeeding generations of citizens. Veterans constitute about 6% of homeless people, despite the existence of programs aimed at assisting this trauma-exposed group. Commentators often describe this situation as a civilizational shame, when a resource-rich state cannot provide a roof over the heads of those in need.